Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you so much, Rep. Gamble. It's been such a pleasure working with you. Thank you so much for sponsoring this bill. And colleagues, I stand in strong and enthusiastic support today for House Resolution 650, the Literacy Instruction Study Committee. And I want to also thank Dr. Amy Sharma, who Representative Gamble talked about, the Executive Director of Science for Georgia, because she drafted a lot of this resolution for us. So I don't know about all of you, but I've been thinking back to my childhood and when I learned to read, and thinking about my first grade teacher who taught me how to read, and of how important it was. A huge part of my life. I was a little bookworm, but I remember reading took me on adventures beyond my neighborhood, and really opened up my dreams and imaginations and helped me to empathize with others that are different from me. And tragically, we do have a situation here in Georgia, and it really is a national problem, where only a third of our students can read proficiently by the end of third grade. You can't believe it when you hear it. It's like so terrible. I remember being in the Education Committee in 2019 when I was first elected, and Georgia Partnership on Excellence in Education talked to us about the statistic, and I was horrified. We did make some steps in improvement with our dyslexia, our bill, screening for dyslexia, and I'm very grateful that the Chamber took those actions. I also remember when Representative Kennard had his bill to make kindergarten mandatory, which unfortunately in Georgia it is still not mandatory, but we did have a great speaker, Comer Yates of the Atlanta Speech School, talking about how critical literacy is. And so this has been something I'm very proud of the work that Representative Gamble has done and that Dr. Sharma has done, and I'm very excited about this study committee. And just as a reminder, I do want you to know that we do have all the tools for all of our kids to be literate, and we can identify, uplift, support, and expand the many programs that are already working on this. And reading proficiently by the end of third grade has been listed to a host of outcomes. Students who cannot read proficiently at third grade are 4 times more likely than their proficient counterparts to drop out of high school, and more likely to experience long-term behavioral and mental health outcomes. So this means that kids that aren't reading proficiently are more likely to end up in jail or in low-wage jobs and propagate a negative cycle into the next generation. Okay, gonna study it. All right, I'll skip over all my good stuff. I have lots of good stuff here on evidence-based literacy. I'll go ahead and skip over that. I do want to say that there are a lot of wonderful organizations in Georgia already studying this, and this study committee will bring them together. And I will conclude. Yes. Okay. But we won't have a 21st century workforce without literate citizens. And we do have the tools for all of our Georgia citizens to be literate. And we have a lot of big pieces we have pieces of this puzzle, and we need to work together. And we can create these adults who can support their children literacy and support themselves as members of the 21st century workforce. So I ask for your support.